Happy New Year's, everybody. This is Aight podcast. As always, presented by AML Media. Alberta Marie Labordi, love ya. Stay with us through the ride, have some fun, and definitely stay tuned to the end to watch Rachel lose her mind a little bit. But while you're back to normal, could you give us our plugs maybe this time, Rachel?
Yeah.
Or maybe not. Do you need to hand me the computer again?
No.
You got this. You'll be all right. You're going to be all right.
I'll edit it in.
Guys, we're on all social medias. Go to aml.media.blog. That's going to be the best thing for you. This is Aight podcast. I'm Gene Labordi. This is my brother Stephen Labordi. And the person losing her
the
mind,
hysterical person in the back, is
cry
Rachel.
laughing, is Rachel. She's usually a lot better than this, but stay tuned, hang out, and comment as always. Let us know what you think.
And remember, you be alright.
You're gonna be alright, guys. I sit in the swirly seat. Oh, damn, yours can swirl too. My seat has a back.
You
too.
wear the headphones.
I wear the headphones. You can wear headphones. You just decided.
No, I don't see the point.
You don't like the headphones?
I don't dislike them.
Well, that's when you can tell if you're not loud enough, though, too.
That's what I have Rachel for.
But I've always wanted to, I've always wanted to get into. I wanted to be a radio host. Is a dream I didn't know I had until like after college.
That's what happens when you really don't have like a proper upbringing.
Well,
Like,
that's also, yeah, by 10th grade, I was like, I'm not going to make it into any professional sports league.
I'm saying, like, how many things have I experienced or been exposed to in my adult life that I realized, like, my parents didn't expose me to shit.
Well, yeah, no, because she is the man in the sense that she was like, follow the rules, and you're just going to work a job that you're probably not going to like the most of your life.
Yeah.
Which is practical. She was trying to set you up for, like, don't be a failure.
Yeah, but God bless her soul, she just wasn't that cultured or, like, smart.
I don't think she ever really had dreams.
I get that, but I'm saying that's how it trickled down generationally. Like, there was no way for me to ever have conceived in my mind that I could go to law school. Now, being older, I'm like, I could have went to law school if I tried hard in high school.
They didn't really even push college on us much.
Not me at all.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, mine was just, the reason I went to college was like, I was hanging out with some guys and I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah. They were happy, like, that I was, like, into computers. Like, not playing games. Fixing them.
When they realized, like, at that point, Mom was already, like, she worked on a computer all day long at Airgas, so she was like, oh, there are IT guys out there, and you can fix a computer? Okay.
But it wasn't like, you should go to computer school. I was like, I'm going to go learn. Like, after high school, I was like, I'm going to go to computer school. And they were like, okay, that sounds pretty good.
It is weird to think that, like, she would have been just as happy if we were like, yeah, I work in a factory.
Well,
I haven't. Basically, she was like, just something where you can, like, buy your own food, have a place, and have health insurance.
she didn't care about how much money you made or what you're doing. What was it most important to her is that you went to work 5 days a week, worked 8 hours a day. Like, that was, that's it. Didn't matter what it was. Which is, I know, what's the worst alternative, because there are some parents who will shit on you no matter what you're doing in life.
Well, and also there is some people out there that had too much, like, shoot for the stars, and someone who gets like a art history degree or something like that.
If that's really their passion, then I disagree with you. If that's really what they love to do, you're talking in terms of how much money they'll make. That's shouldn't be the only thing.
No, but I'm saying there's definitely, and I can't like say offhand I know someone that's happened to, but you shouldn't tell your kid their whole life you can be anything you want to be, because there are sometimes you have to go like, hey, basketball's probably not going to work out for you, so have a plan B.
I don't know if we agree there, but
well, hey,
You don't want people to have dreams.
I want people to have dreams. I'm just, and God damn it, this is how much my mom, I'm part of my mom. You know what? Yeah, go get a 9 to 5, people. Quit chasing your dreams. I'm the only one allowed to chase dreams.
okay. I mean, most people don't get to attain their dreams, but you should never, unless somebody's like a half a stone odd, then maybe tell them, listen, you're gonna have limitations.
I get, you know what it is?
Don't try to monetize your dream, Jimmy.
No, that's, you always think that I always put a monetary. I'm just saying, and I'm not, I guess, describing it well enough, but I'm sure there's people out there that their parents, probably maybe a little hippy-dippy-ish, were like, yeah, you can make a career out of astrology.
Well, yeah, you could be a fortune teller.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. I was just...
You got it right. Astronomy is the actual science.
You know, it's funny, the bartender at our bowling alley, she, very nice lady, she's going back to school, and she made that mistake signing up for classes thinking she was going to go for astrology, and ended up taking astronomy, right?
Which is, yeah, okay.
So she was day one, they're like, so this is how light years work, and we're going to calculate how the sun gets to the earth, and she was like,
Wait, she was going to pay money to go to a college class for astrology?
Well,
You need a certain amount of credits,
yeah,
so something she's interested in.
Her science, she wants to go for like business stuff, so her science credit, she thought,
okay.
Oh shit, I'll go, astrology, but
Smart egg.
yeah, there's like lions in the sky and stuff, and that means that you're gonna have a bad September.
Yeah. Okay.
Rachel, you came from your parents. Well, your dad always wanted you to be a musician, but like your mom's very practical and pragmatic.
Yeah, but she never stopped me from, because I wanted to be a sportscaster. She helped me pursue that. She got me an interview at the news station to go sit with the guy there. I wanted to be a photographer. I wanted to be art stuff.
Those three, they're all obtainable. That's, I guess, what I'm getting at.
You look at it from your own viewpoint, but like your viewpoint was you really just wanted to be a professional athlete. And that's one of the few dreams where it's like you need to be born with the right physical attributes to even try.
I mean, I held on that I was like, I could probably go pro in lacrosse until I was a senior year, and I was like...
Did you really?
Yeah. I was a decent goalie, and I was like, there's not... Like... I mean, shit, D1 lacrosse at that time, and still kind of is a higher level than
the MLS or
MLL.
So
yeah, and I was like, they don't make a lot of money, and I didn't understand the industry yet at that time, and I was like, I could. I mean, you just got to stick with it, and I think I can get there.
Oh, okay.
Well, and I never played box lacrosse really at that point, where like you wear all the pads, and I was like, dude, I definitely could be really good at that.
Yeah.
But that's just, you got to be Canadian. And just be like, I'm going to make, like, they all have other jobs. As soon as I learned that, I go, well, why am I going to do all this hard work and then also have to do another job?
Yeah, they all have to work.
Well, if you're watching this, I guess at this point, sometimes I like to do a soft intro like we just did there. But if you're watching this, we're in 2023.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Do you have any, what's your goals for 2023?
Put me on the spot there.
We were talking, well, while you're thinking, we're like, my goals are getting healthier. Signed up for the gym like we talked about last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not setting hard goals on that. I just want to just keep myself doing it and just move. When you move more, I think you feel better. And then just hopefully this podcast starts to get a little bit more traction. Not hoping for anything big, but we've been putting a lot of content out there. I think we're sticking to a regiment.
Still brand new pod.
Still brand new.
Yeah.
So
fucking Like Kyle Long and his brother, their podcast, they did for like 3 years, and they're famous football players before anybody even started watching it.
It's such a long everyone that because shit now you don't even have to have microphones. Just one iPhone and you can have a podcast going.
Yeah.
But
that blew my mind though. Like they're Super Bowl winning players.
It also depends. Like what were they going after? Like if they were going after the sports market, that's so hard to compete in. All of them are, but like.
I mean, the fucking Kelseys have the #1 podcast in the world after like 14 episodes. So.
Yeah, well, the more I watch that, and I haven't watched a lot of them.
The podcast sucks. I stopped watching it.
Yeah, it's super highly produced. I mean, there's definitely a team of 5 or more people doing all the stuff, and they go, okay, we have everything set up. Here's some topics.
It's just boring.
Yeah.
I didn't think I would. I had high hopes for it because I love Jason Kelsey.
How much, I mean, because they're not, doing like insider talk. Now, let's say.
They have to be politically correct. They have to be league appropriate. They have to be rah-rah team guys, which I don't have a problem with. I'm saying it doesn't make for an entertaining podcast, and either of them are very funny.
Yeah, we talked about they're movie quote people.
Lots.
There's people
quotes
out there that
they'll do 2 episodes in a row with the same movie quote.
Yeah,
it's like
I'm sure a Borat voice comes out every once in a while.
My wife.
Yeah, which is funny.
It is funny, but you got to bring something other
than that. A couple podcasts ago.
Okay, but I'm not a Kelsey, and I'm not in the goddamn NFL. I was gonna say, you know what? If they keep doing it in a couple years, I mean,
when they're retired,
and can talk about some stuff,
that's different. Yeah,
that'll be
agree.
Completely different. And at that point, they should just remarket, rebrand everything. Don't even call it New Heights anymore.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, I'm disappointed. I thought it was going to be a lot better.
The first few episodes you watch are good, but it really is it's the same thing over and over again.
There's much better versions of what they do.
Yes.
That's what I should say.
And we love Jason Kelsey.
And I love the NFL. That's why it's disappointing, because I would love to add that to the rotation.
Yeah. But just one thing, I'm going to start calling it that. You coined it well, that the NFL is like soap opera for men.
Yeah.
With how much media coverage and everyone has a phone, social media, there's so much stuff out there. There's so many interesting stories that it kind of is like the Kardashians for men.
It's like a step up because it's reality TV in the sense that it's a real thing, but there's no script. And
these players like to act a fool sometimes.
Yeah, they do.
Doing some dumb shit.
And social media is like, how my stance on social media, but I have to learn to appreciate it because it gives people another venue to fuck up and do stupid shit.
It really does.
And then I get to,
And especially these guys that maybe they come from poverty-stricken and they're good athletes, so then by the time they're in high school, they're just surrounded by yes men. So by the time they get to the league, everyone around them, besides like coaching staffs and stuff, are like, yeah, dude, everything you do is awesome.
Celebrities always been like that, though.
Yeah, but celebrities used to only be able to do it not even that long ago. You think 10 years ago, there wasn't as much social media, so
in their own heads, all these guys are superstars, even when they're not.
But they have literally 10 years ago, it was celebrities were surrounded by yes men because paparazzi were the only times that they would get caught doing stupid shit.
Like puff pieces and
so now every idiot in the league has something that connects them directly to the world, and they're doing stupid shit all the time with yes men. So 24/7 they can make a dumb mistake, and I love watching it as long as it's not on my team.
Or when they suddenly think they have a good political opinions. I love that, and it's like everybody's just like intervention. It's fucking hilarious. LeBron, great basketball player. I always respect most of what he does, but like you don't have to comment on everything.
Yeah, stick to stay in your lane. You have enough money. All you can do, someone like that, I go, dude, stay in your lane. Not because I don't think maybe you do have good opinions, but it's so two-sided. All you can do is shoot yourself in the foot. You're never the second you go, I think human trafficking's wrong. There's going to be someone going like, so that's the only thing you care about? You don't think the environment's worth?
It can be
so it can never. You can never win.
It's a lose-lose.
It really is.
Yeah.
If you're that high profile, there's nothing. It's not worth it. I get it.
LeBron's not a great example, though, I guess, because he is like he does a lot of good things.
Oh yeah. And he's never made his family look.
But everybody
everybody
thinks they're LeBron when they get into these, like, especially professional athletes.
All of the
Because they all
Ball brothers.
Yes, the Ball father.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That's one guy. I'm glad he. I love watching him because it's like this guy is. Shut up! You're so dumb, but I can't stop watching stuff. Every time I see something on him, and like this dude is a legit fool.
And he's definitely the prime example of there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah.
Because most of the people watching him are making fun of him.
And he goes, yeah, and he just rolls into it. He's like, yeah, aren't we?
You're still watching.
Aren't we so cool? You're still watching, right? And it's
Right.
like, yeah, well, I also like to watch traffic accidents happen, dude.
But he's not wrong.
No, he's making money off of it. You
But
know.
I think the key point is, like, he is putting shit out there, and he doesn't care what comes back at him, because his sons are all super successful. His sons have talked about how, like, they tell him to chill out, and he's just like, no, like, I don't care. But these other guys, these other different profile athletes, who think their opinions on things other than the sports need to be put out there and shit.
Yeah.
When they get blowback, it actually affects them, but they just can't stop themselves
There's
because they have 65,000 followers, so they think they're important.
Yeah, and it's like it's crazy too because I think I have 14 followers, but like these people are on there and they're surrounded by so many people that know shit. Like they know a lot of these are bots, and they're still like it's crazy. I guess the dopamine they get from it, they can't help themselves.
Yeah, it's another addiction for sure. But it's fun to watch when people get way over their skis, if you will, and they think they're like world peacemakers and politicians and social commentarians, and you've been playing a children's game.
Yeah, I've spent a lot.
Your whole
life.
You
God,
probably
you're blessed. You were blessed with this crazy awesome body, and you stayed in your lane. Or you just kept doing what people around you were like, you're going to be good at this. We're going to teach you exactly how to do it. And the only thing you've contributed to society is maybe winning a state championship for your area.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, because you have a lot of money and people want to watch you, you're like, well, you know what? I do want to get into politics all of a sudden. I seen this one YouTube clip. I think the earth is flat. Right. Which, dude, we've been watching Last Chance University. If you haven't watched any of them, you're so welcome. I'm telling you about this on Netflix. Watch all of them. But the one scene...
talk
dude,
about it.
All these guys. So if you don't know Last Chance University, it's junior colleges. It's their last chance to... A lot of these guys went D1, fucked up either in the classroom or outside the classroom. So they go to these crappy junior colleges. And so it's like... It's the dumbest Division I players a lot of times, or loudmouths, that just gets... And they just fight the whole time. But listening to 18 to 21-year-olds, all in this case, they're all gigantic black men. They're children, really. Talk about conspiracy theories. Makes your head go, dude, what is this world coming? It's...
You know what? Yes, but also there's fully grown white old men and nutters out there who believe the earth is flat still. But when you see a group of young people, because you always want to have a lot of faith in the youth.
Here's the thing.
They should be getting smarter. We should always be doing better for our children. They should be getting more.
I watched it with two sides of the coin. I go, I'm glad, because they started talking about Trump, and the one dude was like a Trump supporter, and I go, I don't know how you're making that connection, but okay, so you're not just falling in line with everything Twitter says.
Right.
You know, so I'm going, at least they're having conversation, but it's so funny the way they're doing it, because it is just who can be the loudest.
Yes.
and get their, and so none of them are getting their point across. It's 5 of them standing in a circle just yelling their point out. None of them are listening.
Yeah.
And it's just the coach in the background here, so he laughs, shaking his head, and then it shoots to hit, like cuts to him outside of it, sitting in a chair, and he's like, I gotta deal with that like every day.
Yeah.
He's like, they have to come to my office for 2 hours a day, and nothing gets done because that's the scene. I'm glad they're there. At one point he goes, I think they just come because I have some food here.
Oh, yeah. Is that Coach Rob?
Coach Rob. Coach
Yeah.
Rob's that man.
Come on the show, Coach Rob.
Dude,
we have a
that-
sports podcast.
Yeah, dude.
We'd like to talk to you. But so that's your New Year's resolution.
Yeah, we'll bring it back to circle. New Year's resolution, get a little healthier, and keep podcasting. I enjoy doing this.
Good.
Do you have one now?
I don't have like one like thing, but I want to keep doing what I'm doing, exercising, keep running. I'm getting old now, so I got to maintain some. Because once I let it go, it'll be
Yeah.
over with. It's really hard to start over. I want to continue not to drink booze
That's a good one for you.
or shoot heroin or any of
You've
those
been
bad
doing
things.
that good for 6 years now?
Yeah, almost 7. I'm moving on 7.
Yeah, Steven, would you just not drink booze, dude?
I'm doing it for everybody, so you don't have to worry about it. And obviously find some kind of new employment that's not terrible.
I just want you to get health insurance.
I need health insurance, and the podcast hasn't made us a whole lot of money
I don't
yet.
know how that works. I don't know how insurance works all that well, but I think we'd have to make a lot more money or
Yeah.
any money.
Yeah.
Because the sad part about it is like you're like it can be like just a broken finger,
Oh,
maybe
my-
not a finger, but you're a broken arm. If you don't have health insurance in America, you're a broken arm away from either being disformed the rest of your life or being in debt for 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of people at this point just take on the debt and say like,
Yeah, true. If it's bad enough, and like they have.
but I
to
do worry
stuff.
about it all the time. Like when I go running, like if there's snow or ice on the ground at all, I can't take that risk.
I mean, just simple. You get a bad chest cold,
Yeah.
and you have to go to MedExpress to get just an whatever, a simple medicine that you probably should be able to buy over the counter, but for some reason you can't buy anti-inflammatories.
Not in this country. You
Yeah,
can't.
so it's like you just have to go somewhere to pay money for them to be like, yeah, this is medicine that everyone should have available. Also, that cost you $17,000.
Yeah. So shit, I went to a regular general like doctor, and they
Dr. Scott, my dude.
well, I got a bill for $400, and he told me it was gonna be a free. I'm gonna call, we're
But
gonna get it
that's a
straightened out.
clerical error.
But nevertheless, it goes to show like that was basically a bill for a new patient and a vaccination
That you did not get.
that I didn't get, but that would have been $400 for a needle.
Yeah. Yeah, because why does it cost money to be a new patient? You know what I mean?
Because it's something you could put on the bill.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing I want to accomplish this year is I need to get curtains. And
Let's make that a January.
yeah, before my birthday. And then a new love interest.
New love interest would be
Male,
nice.
female. At this point, I might be gay.
Whatever floats your boat.
There's a lot of transgender people out there, and I don't have to pick.
And shit, some of them are really good at makeup, and you're like, you tricking me right now?
Yeah, but then they just... what's fucked up about transgender people? I like to imagine that the ones that are men that, like, are women in their minds, or however that works, I bet you a lot of them have fucking really good hogs on them.
Yeah.
And just wasting them.
That's a good point. You know what? Probably.
Or even as much as, like, going further and getting the surgery... There's got to be times where doctors like, I can't cut this thing off, man. It's a
We gotta
beautiful
donate
dick.
it. I gotta donate this
It's
somewhere.
a beautiful dick, man.
But you know what they I've seen, the pendulum swings, they say, and all sorts of things. It does seem, and maybe it's my algorithm, but there are more medical professionals going like, they're like putting stringent of like, you have to wait at least 2 years if you really want to.
Yeah.
Because I guess a lot of people, well, I don't know the statistics, but from what I hear through other podcasts, a lot of times they regret getting the surgery of getting your penis removed.
Or
And because causes a lot of like crazy issues later. Like the one that fucking made my mind go like that's insane is like because they can't get rid of your hair follicles. So if you're a really hairy man and the way it happens, you can start growing pubes kind of inside of you, and so then you're fighting a constant infection and stuff like that. So I'll go for it if you want to be a girl, but hold on to your wiener. I would
just
say
do what you want. I don't
do
wanna
what
go
you
down
want,
this
but
road. Just do
I
what
would
you
say
want.
hold on to your wiener
Just do what you
or
want.
give it a couple
Stop
years.
caring about what other people do. That's not for you. It's for everybody. Like just
True.
stop caring.
Right.
And always remember that when you see these things in news and in social media about like how there was a big stink about children, as parents trying to get them gender reassignment surgery and stuff. Remember that little tiny sample of people, it becomes big news because it is controversial. But that doesn't mean there's 10,000 young children out there trying to get their wieners cut off.
Yeah, I don't want to go down too deep in that hole.
I'm just
but
going down the outrage thing is outrageous.
I get just a little outraged with the medicine. A 12-year-old getting influenced by someone else, and then they want this medicine. Anywho, Rachel, we got any New Year's resolutions, plans, goals?
Yeah, I have 4 goals.
Ooh, see, she has a number.
She's copying on me. I had 4 too.
Yeah, but she
I had curtains actually. I had 5.
So I want to eat healthier, some more whole foods, less processed foods, move more. We got our gym membership, so do something there.
we're gonna hit the stair steppers.
Go ahead and finish because we have to comment after she's done.
Then I'm going to work towards minimalism, continue to declutter the house, and a lot of different things. I've been working on my closet, so keep working there. And then I want to read more books.
Yes, you go, girl.
Good for you. Those are
Go,
very.
girl. If you can read 5 books this year, I'll buy a present.
Okay, I think that's a
They
good
have to be like
number for me, like a
I bought some comic books.
attainable, but
Yeah,
still will be some work for me too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a good number, but
Well,
they can't be. They have to be more than like 100 pages. It can't
Yeah,
be like
like-
some bullshit ass.
But like that minimalist book, it's not big, but that's something that will achieve 2 goals. And I just for the people out there, when you say you were working on the closet, are you talking about our second room that you use as a closet, or the closet inside of the second room?
No, there's something called a capsule wardrobe where you only have like 33 pieces is the ideal number, and they all match with each other, and basically you never have to think about what you're wearing because you have certain outfits. So I've been slowly getting rid of clothes, donating clothes all through the year, and I'm down to 66 pieces total.
Good job. And they say that that's one of those things that a lot of successful people have is you have to make so many decisions through the day. So if you don't have to make a decision of what you're wearing, that's like a sign of like a lot of successful people do that. Like the Mark Zuckerbergs and stuff, like they just
There's decision
Steve
fatigue.
Jobs like wore the same thing every day
I
because
like making decisions about my outfit though.
well,
Yeah, but if you're making
Are you
too
Steve
many
Jobs?
decisions per day, like in
Yeah, you're saying people who already have a lot on their plate.
well, just so for example, I've been doing Noom, which is a dieting app, but
Can we get a sponsorship, yo?
yeah.
come on, Noom.
But they talk about decision fatigue, so they say you should always go to the grocery store in the morning because if you go in the evening, you've made so many decisions throughout the day subconsciously that you're more likely to just be like, oh, I'm just going to, pick up this pizza or whatever.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and also with the goal to move more, I promise you'll feel so much better on those days where you move. Not like
100%.
rigorous, crazy workout, but like I definitely subscribe, and you guys know this, but for the people watching who've never heard this, I truly believe like we are evolved to be hunter-gatherers, and when you don't move around during the day, and it's been incredibly true for me, mentally I'm just not as good.
100%. I mean, there's the science behind it. Like you literally get more endorphins and your body's meant to move. Like you know,
Yeah.
we've evolved to we're supposed to move a certain amount. You know, there's people out there that say like sitting is the new smoking. You know,
Oh man.
yeah. So we're a couple behind on that one. But those are good goals, and I think all of our goals are attainable. And yeah, Noom, sponsor me, and like you know, you can use me as a poster child if it starts working real good.
Well, if they do reach out, you need to make it work real good.
Oh, dude, I'll make it work. You know what, Noom? If you really care about health, you'll do this.
You could save a life.
You could save a life, or at least add a couple years onto it.
That would be a great story.
Yeah, that would be like a Jared.
You'd be on like the fucking Ellen or whatever.
That would be like Jared for Subway, but I wouldn't touch kids.
I don't. Nah, it would be way better than Jared. I don't like Jared. Never liked Jared. He's a dork. He's got a weird face. Before the kid touching, I was never about the Jared thing. But that's just me, and that's how I feel about Jared.
Kids, I didn't know
Got
he had
opinions.
such strong opinions on Jared.
Yeah, don't like him.
You know what? That was you trusting your gut because there was something
I was
there.
right.
You
Yeah.
were right.
It's just some people have a look about him that says, you got secrets. And we all have secrets, but you can look at somebody sometimes and tell they're not working with a full deck. So...
But yeah, so happy New Year to everybody. It is tough too. It's hard because, like, it's such a build up because it's Halloween. You get a little excited. Weather starts changing. Football's around. Then Thanksgiving's and the family stuff, and it's getting colder. So you know you start to hunker down a little bit. And then it's like the big one of if you celebrate Christmas, you work so hard for that. New Year's, we got all these plans. We're gonna do everything. And then January and February really are just like, especially here, it's like the coldest time. It's the darkest time. You know what I mean? So you try to start off strong, and then it's like, well, it's really cold and dark out. So what do you know?
Yeah.
It is. So I think if you have those goals of trying to do things, that's how I'm going into it. If I can make it to January, March, then like I think you have a lot better chance of succeeding with them.
Absolutely.
It's those first 2 months that you really got to fight through.
There's a number they put on it that, like, statistically, to create a new habit takes like 90 days or something like that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of things like that, but I think it's getting past. If you can start feeling better by the time it starts getting a little bit warmer.
It's all downhill from there.
Yeah, then
way.
because you got, like, everyone knows if you ever worked out or played those first 2 weeks are the hardest. Your body's going to hurt the most. That's when your brain's going to tell you not to do it. It's the easiest time to make excuses.
It's hard to alter your schedules, though, for anybody trying to do any new thing, especially if you're not getting paid to do it.
Yeah,
It really is. That, to me, is the hardest part.
Yeah, that was the nicest thing about when I landscaped. I literally kept I landscaped an extra summer because I was like, I probably should have went and I graduated at that point and had a degree, but I was like, I'm getting paid decent to work out, basically.
There's a lot of pros to working a job like that, especially if your boy owns it.
Yeah, and because that was hard. There were, that was landscaping is not easy, and we had it easy compared to other ones, but like I'm not great in the sun, so that was for me to sign. That was like what I imagined. It's basically like Jason Kelsey's situation. I'm like, my body's beat up, but I'm gonna do it for the boys.
Right.
I'm come back one more season for the fans.
Yeah, right. You
For
were
the
in good
old-
shape though. Then I saw that picture of you, and I was like, damn.
That was the best shape I ever was as far as like running conditioning was because lacrosse and then summer landscaping going into my junior year, I think that was best shape I ever was.
Oh, I forgot to add another goal for this year and every year is just not kill myself.
Which is fun. We say that a lot, and Rachel does not like it. And it's funny that maybe we said this before, but Rachel's been talking to her cousin Stephanie a lot. They become really good friends, and they text all day long.
Yeah.
And what did Stephanie say it to you, or did she just say that all of the Labordis all the time, like, I'm just gonna kill myself?
No, I think the one day she was this is a while ago, but she was being dramatic about something, and that's the phrase that she used. I was like, it's all of you guys.
Well, good. At least now we don't seem like we're just two guys who are about to kill ourselves.
Yeah,
it's
but
funny.
although she has not said it since, so she
Well,
doesn't use it as often.
Well,
as
that's
you.
because you guys text.
And we're men. See, women don't kill themselves. Men actually sometimes do kill themselves.
Statistically, it's a crazy.
So clearly it crosses our minds more often than a female. So sometimes we just have to talk about it.
Hey,
As long as you don't have a plan, it's okay. And remember, people, you're not in control of your thoughts. You're only in control of your actions. And when you have a funny thought, you should share it.
yeah. So sometimes I drop a plate twice trying to get it in the trash. So audibly, I have to say I'm going to kill myself.
I've seen plenty of comics, some of your favorites, talk about it's always on the table.
Listen, it's especially mornings. It's I'm a stub toe and a dropping coffee in between the oven like you did the other day. I'm gonna kill myself.
If you in the wrong mood when I spilled that coffee, definitely would have shouted, "I'm gonna kill myself." But that was one of those moments where I just had to laugh.
Yeah, well, you gotta laugh not to cry sometimes.
Right.
And it's funny but not funny. The times I say I'm gonna kill myself are never in serious. It's the times where I silently in my head go, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, that's when you have to worry. When we stop making jokes about killing ourselves, that's when you should worry.
So when I'm not funny, Rachel, or trying to be funny,
Shit's gotten bad.
that's when you go, you sure you don't want like some sugar or something to get your levels back up or something? One thing we're talking about on smoke break, maybe get your sugar intake down a little bit, your cookie intake down a little bit.
It is, for some reason, I do love a cookie more than, but like I ate that Kringle in 3 days. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that was a lot of.
It was almond flavored. It was really
that
good.
shit was banging. I'm not a big sweets guy. That thing was banging.
Yeah.
And it was funny too when Rachel's mom was telling you like, well, you can actually put it in the freezer and it'll last a while. And I was like, it's not gonna last a while. Trust me.
It won't. Yeah. Well, I don't need to.
A whole cut around the mold. It has to.
Yeah. So I should probably. I just am tired of having to quit things, man. Is this what my whole life is gonna be? Quitting things? I've already quit like the hardest shit.
You don't have to quit. It's just moderation.
Yeah, but our family's good with moderation.
Yeah,
that's harder.
It's either.
That's why I'm not good at diets and stuff, because I'm like, all right, I'm either gonna have none of it, but the second I go, you know what, maybe I'm gonna splurge and have half a bagel. And then later that night, I'm like, well, I already had some bagels, so why don't I order a whole pizza for myself?
Yeah, and it's totally true. Like, once you break your diet even a little, like it's like a snowball chance in hell.
Once you let that floodgate open a little bit, it's a lot of people, they have a little bridge they can let down. Mine's a floodgate that's like, wow, fuck it, I already messed up today. This is a week of cheating.
I'm a failure. I'm gonna kill myself. That's it.
This is.
So, yeah, like I could have never in a million years. I tried to cut back and just drink less booze. Try switching to beer.
Yeah, because you weren't a good drunk, really. Like
I didn't have fun or enjoy it.
Because you would go from 0 to 60
Wasted
like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that happens a lot with people that have a gastric bypass or any of those type of surgeries, because you start to process things so much faster than normal people do.
Yeah, your whole shit's different. But even like people that don't, like they say, and it's true, like alcoholism is progressive. Like eventually you're no longer enjoying it or having fun, and you definitely can't moderate. But mostly the number one symptom of alcoholism, when it's like officially alcoholism, is isolating yourself.
Just drinking by yourself.
Any drug. Like when you start progressing, it becomes just about you and the drug, and that's when it gets depressing.
Yeah, especially when you're doing it and when it no longer becomes fun. I've always been. I can't wrap my mind around two types of alcoholics. One that drink and they get angry, why do you want to keep doing it?
It's just different people are different.
You know,
I
and then
guess.
2, which I'm just a large guy, so I can consume more, but the beer alcoholics, dudes, I guess you just have to wake up and crack a beer and just keep drinking tall boys all day long.
It's just a way to maintain and not get shit faced and your wife's yelling at you and you crash the car. You know, it's a way. It's an attempt to moderate your intake.
I guess.
But that's why dieting is so hard.
Well, and
Because you have to eat.
You have to eat, yeah. And it's so hard to make. It's so expensive and so hard to make the right decision. And yes, there are cheap ways to make the correct decision, but it's more effort. And then it gets to the point where you're, 3 weeks in and you're going like, how long do I have to keep doing this?
That's what is really difficult. Like you're saying, because you can't abstain from eating. So it's annoying when you're trying to diet and hear people talk about it. It's a lifestyle thing. And it's like, forever?
That's what like you say, I keep quitting things the rest of my life. And it's like, so I just have to kind of not enjoy meals anymore the rest of my life?
Well, we talked about this, and we've heard Big J talk about, like, not in these terms I'm going to use, but it's the relationship with food. That is, it's funny, but it's also true.
Yeah.
Like, that's like your, that's like your best friend. That's actually, you hear it on 100 Pound Life all the time. It's like your best friend never lets you down, always look forward to seeing you.
And those people you see, I've told this story to you before, but to see addiction in small scale at that time, when you see them eating and they're closing their eyes, eating 10 pancakes, and you're like, dude, they don't enjoy anything else more than that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I equated to, in high school, I watched a kid, the first time he did an opiate, whatever it was, whatever type of pill it was, and 2 minutes after he did it, I could see his eyes change and go, when do we get more?
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you just tasted what this feels like, and you're already going, when's the next step where we keep getting more?
Mm-hmm.
And to see something in that light, you go, holy shit. Which is another good dieting tip. If you're dieting, watch My 600. Every time you're before you cook or about to eat, watch an episode of My 600 Pound Life. Guarantee you're going to make a smaller portion.
Yeah. And the thing about that show is those people are all such brats. They're like the worst people.
lot. 80% of them are. And it's I always say we've had weight issues our whole life. The person that goes, I don't know why I'm fat, I go, well, immediately I know you're never going to be successful. And if you grow up in America, I don't care what part of it, at one point in your life on TV or something, they go, if you just move more and eat less, you will lose weight.
Yeah, that's not a new breakthrough.
Yes. And, okay, there is maybe the very, very, very small population with a thyroid thing or something.
Small isn't the right number. It's minute. It's 1 in a million.
And
2 in a million.
It's crazy watching that show because at one point you feel bad for them, but inevitably 90% of them,
you hate them.
40 minutes in, you go, there's a reason you are this way.
You're an asshole. A lot of them are assholes.
Assholes.
They're abusive to like the
bad
people in their
parent-
lives.
yeah.
They're terrible parents.
Some of them, they'll have a wife, and they're like, how the hell does that person have someone who loves them?
Yeah, it's mind-boggling. How come I'm alone, and this guy's got a wife and kids, and they're such hypocrites.
Oh.
They will like talk down. How many episodes of that do you see somebody who's in like their 20s, early 30s that are severely overweight, and their fat parents are acting like they're fine?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, you're a fat, disgusting pig too.
Just
because you're not 600 pounds.
Yeah, you're. I'm 50 pounds lighter than you. What are you doing wrong with your life?
Or giving them tips on what they should do while they're eating cheeseburgers and double mayo sandwiches.
Yeah, and you're seeing them like scowl at them while they're eating the same thing as them.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah.
But
And
that's when you see like issue with obesity, a lot of it is bad parenting.
Oh, yes. And you can kind of see where it comes from. I mean, obviously the food industry, everyone
This
knows
shit
how
is
that shit is
engineered to be
crazy.
addictive.
But, like, I mean, you look at someone like our grandfather who was in great health his whole life, very active up until he couldn't be anymore. He's a great Depression-era child. You know what I mean? So, like, even when we would eat dinner there, like, he kind of be like, you finish that plate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But meanwhile, in his mind, he goes, I'm doing the right thing. We don't waste food around here. But he probably should have been like, well, someone probably should have portioned out how much mac and cheese he had on his plate, because now
Especially me, because I was fat as shit at like 4.
And then our
5.
parents, you know, the next generation, which will be our parents, they had that kind of instilled in them a little bit. But then they didn't, things that they thought were healthy weren't healthy. Like, how long did we have those dried banana chips in our house? That was like a healthy snack. Turns out, no, that's sugar.
Yeah, they didn't know any better.
Yeah.
But if you see, that's all bullshit. Because if your child is the fattest kid in his classroom, clearly something's wrong and you need to make some changes. But I've been firsthand with my ex and her daughter. It's a lazy parenting where you don't want to hear it. The kids are bored. They want to eat snacks, and instead of instilling a little bit of discipline and a regiment, they just say yes.
Or try distraction of some sorts, you know, because a lot of it is just bored eating for a little kid like
totally.
that.
Especially with little kids. They have so much energy.
And it's so easy to go, well, we'll just stop at fast food. I don't feel like cooking tonight. And then there'll be even the small things like, well, we'll get them the apple slices instead of fries. And it's like, well, they're still going to eat 600 calories worth of...
Yeah, but it's more about the in-between meals.
Yeah.
Every kid's going to have a cheeseburger every once in a while. That's fine. But it's the day in, day out, just no rules.
And it starts early.
Very early.
I would like to see the stat of someone who makes it to 18 years old, or their formative years, let's even say 15, that had proper dieting. You know, normal portions. I guarantee there's a crazy, like, that person probably never gets fat. They might get a little chunky when they get older or something like that, but, you know, if you're fat before 12, before 10, you are probably going to fight a lifelong time, a battle.
For sure.
Because it's instilled in you. And especially kids do what they see their parents do. And kids aren't dumb, too. You know what I mean? Like, you know, just because the kid is in bed, he's going to recognize that there's a half a sleeve of Oreos missing in between the night.
Yeah, especially if that's always, like, the reward. And, again, the biggest thing is, like, okay, you can have 3 meals a day, and you can have a snack twice a day. And it can't be just junk food. If you give a kid that set of rules from the age that they're 3 till, like, 15, they'll take it and run. They'll be fine most of the time. Mm-hmm. They might go the freshman 15 or whatever in college. That's just booze. But yeah, if you got a 12-year-old who's definitely the fattest kid in the classroom,
and there's a lot
parents.
Dude, if you give a kid a fry when he's 4 years old, you are blowing their mind. They're like, holy shit, what is this magic? And so then when you go to give him an apple slice, they're like, fuck this apple slice.
Yeah, well, that's a debate. Like, they're going to have French fries eventually anyway. So do you get it out of the way?
Yeah, good point.
It's about discipline.
It's the moderation,
You cannot introduce discipline to someone when they're 18. It's too late. And I know this personally.
Yeah. Dude, in the, which is, I don't even watch it. They are so funny. The 1,000-Pound Sisters, it's fun. It gets sad at some points, but they are, dude, ignorance is bliss when it comes to them. They are so dumb, but so, like, light. It's crazy that they're that lighthearted in the situation they're in. But the way they talk about it, which I have a hard time believing it, but they genuinely, at least tell this doctor, they thought, if I ate cookies and cakes, if I drank a diet soda, that would cancel out the sugar.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either. But it's like, but that's one of those things. Can you lie to yourself long enough to start to believe it? Because your mind,
can only go off my personal.
Your mind starts to defend itself eventually.
I think it's all bullshit. No matter how fat I was, I could never convince myself that I wasn't doing this to myself.
True. Yep.
And no matter how drunk and out of control my life was, I never was like, I knew what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be really fucking stupid, you know. That's just like the thing with like gambling and all these things. Like, can you lie to yourself in the beginning a little bit? Maybe. But when you start having consequences,
And gambling is one that, yeah.
that's the highest suicide rate of all addictions. For obvious reasons.
Dude, yeah, that one does, like, because I've been close enough around addiction, obviously, and things like that. So, but the second, when I think about bad gambling addiction, dude, because especially now you can gamble on your phone, dude, you can lose your house in 10 minutes on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just people like it's, and thank God I've never experienced that high. I think it's a good reason I've never won big. You know what I mean? Because, like, I might go, I can do this. People.
That's when it's good to be a cynical person. Like, cynicism isn't always great. It puts a tinge on life in a lot of ways. But, like, I won money at a casino before. But it wasn't like I was like, it's going to be like this all the time.
Well,
I knew.
Yeah.
It's not how it's. You have to look at the.
There's a reason why these casinos stay open and keep just getting bigger and bigger. Like,
Right.
it's just nonsensical. Because I've won a couple bucks here and there, but I immediately, let's talk about cynicism. Like, if I lose $10 at a blackjack table, I go, that's like lunch. I just lost lunch. If I walk out of there down $100, I was like, immediately I start doing math. I'm like,
I could have a lot of fun with that.
I could have had fun that I guaranteed.
Right.
I would have known exactly what $100 would have got me.
And that's why, like, being an optimist, you can see how you might go to the casino, win $1,000, hopefully not more, but either way, you're gonna be like, this will happen.
This
again.
happens really easy. All I did is press this button. I got $1,000.
Statistics aren't a thing. I'm lucky, But now you see these guys who are professional gamblers, and they say, like,
I still don't believe those motherfuckers.
no, there are.
I've watched things.
Sports bettors. I'm not talking about
okay.
casino sharps or whatever you want to call them. Sports bettors. Like, the best bettors in the world are at around 53% win.
Yeah, just above 500.
That's too much on the edge of your seat. There's no way the people in your life aren't like, this isn't healthy.
Especially if that is your income, which it can't. Any of those guys, there's no way that is their income. You know what I mean? They have to have been rich or something.
Yeah, I don't know. They claim they
But,
do,
like, I've seen, what's that one? Jump off or no jumps or whatever. The one guy's been on there. He's got these dumbass tattoos. And he's young. And he talks about how, like, he's not allowed in all these Los Angeles casinos because he's really good at the one game that I have no idea. You always see Asian dudes playing it, smoking a million cigarettes, called, like,
Keno?
Is it Keno?
I don't know.
It's involved with dominoes, cards, and something on the monitor. But he's got these, like, he's like, I guarantee I know what I can win. And as much as he might have all these cards and stuff, I still go, I don't believe you, dude. Like, I don't care if you are kicked out of casinos for winning too much money. I still don't believe it. I don't believe you guys.
Well, the reason that percentages and statistics are a thing people rely on is because you can't beat them. Over the long haul, you're going to lose. But there's dominoes, cards, and a monitor.
And I don't know I have no idea what's going on. I've always walked past them, and it's always Asian people playing it. There's so much going on, but I don't know if the monitor is showing what the dominoes are or whatnot, but it looks so fucking complicated to me.
Well, I mean, like, bingo has a monitor.
No, it's a table you would never think to sit down at. I guarantee. And some casinos might not even have it. Rachel, can you maybe look up some casino games and look for a word? I think it might start with a K. Maybe it is whatever you said, but
Keno.
Maybe, but no, Keno's like kind of almost bingo-ishy, I think.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But
But I think that's just popular.
You know what? If you guys
Asians.
like just the casino is fun every once in a while to go sit, and I like to play the penny slots, and because you can smoke in there, and I'll get a drink or two. But I go there going, I have $75. I'm willing to lose $75.
Are you talking about Baccarat?
Yeah, that one.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Dude, it looks like they're purposely tricking you to be like, well, you got a 6 there, but a 2 here. All your money's gone.
I don't even want to know. That might be my new addiction if I tried that shit. I don't know. I'm not allowed to try new things anymore.
Yeah, stick to your cheese and sugars.
I mean, I'm being like half serious. Like, I've been addicted. Probably, who knows?
Dude, maybe go try CrossFit.
No. Just because those people aren't my people.
But if you get addicted to it,
They might become your people.
yeah.
I don't want to become one of them, though.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is maybe try to get addicted to a healthy thing.
Okay. Yeah, I can't.
It's a shame that you can't get high off like drinking water or something, because we would be the most hydrated people in the world. We'd be too hydrated.
Funny, like you were talking about how like it's fun to go to the casino and stuff, and that tab still says man tits on there. I was just thinking, like, how many things I have no longer on my Rolodex, if you will, for activities, because I don't drink anymore. So all those things are just like,
And to be honest, like the times I've gone to the casino, I get like 2 tall boys. So that's the special at 3 Rivers, and I leave there going like, I shouldn't even have gotten beer. They have free coffee. That would have done more for me. 2 tall boys is all it's going to do is make me have to piss.
It just makes me like
it
comes into focus that it feels like 90% of things adults do, the reason they're getting together and doing it is because they're going to drink.
That's why adult bowling leagues, fucking axe throwing, and, all those. Yeah. Unless it's like, and shit, even like slow, beer league softball. They got beer league hockey and shit. Even if I were to join like a men's lacrosse club or something where you just play laid back lacrosse, it's probably dudes having a flask on the sideline.
Yeah. Which there's nothing wrong with that. I get it, but and
right.
I'm not even the type of sober person who's like, I can't be around that shit. It isn't even that.
Obviously.
It's just the activities aren't that fun when you're the only one sober, and then you're like, we're just gonna put money down on the table and probably lose it.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: if you had to do it, all right, there's money on the line, and you had to do drag, who would you impersonate?
That's a really good question.
I would do. I'm
glad that you already have one ready.
I would do Jenny from Forrest Gump when she does the naked thing where just the guitar's covering her, and I forget what song she's singing, but I would.
How many roads must a man walk down? That's Bob Dylan.
And I would just, I'd tuck my penis.
You can't cross your legs like she does, though.
That's why it would be the fun. That would be hysterical, and I'd have to get one of those mariachi band guitars that are this big to be able to cover up everything that it needs to cover up.
Yeah. There's a stool. That stool right there is the stool she does.
Yeah, I might. I might be able to get my legs crossed around enough on that.
Look at that. That's the stool.
we have Forrest Gump Jenny stool.
Yeah,
here.
that's usually our drink table. But
Rachel,
I want to think who I could actually do.
Rachel, if you had to do man drag queen, do they do that? Do they do women do men?
We talked about all of this already.
Okay, well,
Don't you
gotta
remember?
stop getting so sauced on the episodes.
Did you remember we talked about that? I remember we talked about drag queens.
Yeah.
Okay, well, my bad. Sorry for trying to make content. Why don't you guys bring something to the table?
It is content. We're talking about it.
All right, well, Rachel, if you had to do a man, who's the Enrique Iglesias? You could fake Mexican.
that would be hard.
You'd have to do that weird thing that they do in like SNL where they, because you have long hair, but they have to like plop it up and do like kind of weird. It looks like a toupee to make it look like short man hair.
My brain keeps just thinking of when Jessica Day is Elvis in New Girl.
That would be good.
Yeah,
and Elvis is always how you gotta do it down here.
Yeah.
And do karate moves.
See, I'm like such maybe I would probably be a great drag queen because I'm thinking to myself like, I can sing. Who should I do?
He's like, I got to make sure I make the right pick. I went for Jenny and Forrest Gump, and you're racking your brain like, but it's got to be realistic for me.
Yeah, I was thinking like maybe I'll do like Alanis Morissette or like.
Hey, that's a good one because you're not seeing that because she wasn't. Because usually drag queens are like.
They're always over the top type
yeah,
shit.
but
I was thinking Jewel too. I could do Jewel. It's always like Madonna or like you
Yeah.
said, like Dolly Parton.
Or yeah, Alanis Morissette would be funny because like how do you overdo her?
Yeah,
Like
she's real low key.
you just have to wear like basically you would just have to wear my clothes because she would just kind of wear oversized t-shirts.
They'd be like, you have to pick someone else. We're doing a show here.
And if you did Jewel, you'd have to like put a piece of tape to give you like a weird overlying tooth.
Yeah. Jewel would be funnier than Alanis Morissette, though.
I'm from Alaska. I lived in a car for many years.
Yeah.
That's my Jewel impression.
That was pretty good. But I don't know. I never thought about that.
So in 2023, we're going to go to a drag show. I wonder if we like called ahead and we're like, listen, we kind of have some production going on.
If we did our live
Like
podcast,
if we could do like a live podcast, like if they were like, do you have a side stage?
they'd be like,
They would be like, we get asked that 100 times a day by all the wannabe drag queens.
But we'd be like, we're not wannabe drag queens.
we have microphones. I don't. What's your guys' criteria? Like we talked about drag queens in 2 different episodes. That's pretty in depth.
They couldn't stop us from doing it out front on the sidewalk.
I think legally they could.
Sidewalks are public.
But don't you have to like be like a preacher or something to be able to speak publicly in large groups?
No, I don't think so. What do you? That's what protests are. They're not preachers.
We're here to protest how cool drag queens are.
Yeah. We want children to be able to go to drag queen shows
without seeing puppets give babies. So winding down here a little bit. Anything? We kind of already had the Christmas episode. Anything exciting happening around the apartment?
No.
Whatever. When I picked you up, the trailer in the parking spots that seemed to be put sideways.
Yeah, but now there's 2 of them instead of 1, so they still take up 2 fucking parking spots.
What a CSer, dude.
Yeah, and you know what?
That's a jive turkey.
He is a jive-ass turkey. And because I told you I moved the one trailer the one time, so he brought a new one in that we've never seen before. He brought that in to claim that second spot. I'm about to push it into the creek. I don't think there's any cameras back there. I'll just wear a fucking big boots.
Big boots. Your hidden identity is big boots.
Yeah, so I look taller, you know?
Nothing much happened around here. Because we're getting ready to gear up, which isn't really the best way to start it, but we're getting in some of our favorite foods before the new year. To get in, so we woke up
before you start hitting the gym.
Yeah, so like I love bagels, so I had to kind of have like a saying goodbye to bagels for a little bit. So we woke up, I ate a bagel, basically laying in bed this morning. Not proud of it.
You're already going bagel.
I savored it, you know what I mean. So I had that. So I'm gonna probably not having a bagel for. I shouldn't have one for quite a long time.
How come the tinfoil on the fucking curtains isn't working?
Yeah. Actually, this week, I don't know if because our schedules are messed up, our dog has been a real dick.
They probably can't hear, but the dog is barking in
the dog is barking upstairs. But he's
been a dick since I moved.
These have been the days where I get to sleep in, and this weird thing's been happening where he will bark, and then I don't know if it's me wheezing, but the other day I came out, Rachel was working, and I was like, why the dogs fucking barking? She's like, they're not. And I was like, I'm having PTSD of dog barking keeping me awake while I'm just trying to sleep till 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right. Yeah. He's been a dick lately.
Especially with you. He hasn't gotten any better with like, we can't figure it out. It's anxiety, obviously, but
definitely a fear response.
All he wants to do is like, as soon as you pet him, he stops barking, basically.
Yeah. You ever been in a situation with somebody there's like a dog barking at them and they don't understand that like you have to pet him and he'll stop?
Yes.
And they'll just stand there and keep a conversation going and you're like,
There's a lot of dog training things though, because I watch videos because I have a bad dog, that you are just supposed to ignore dogs until they're calm and then give them attention when they're calm. Then they learn that they have to be calm.
That makes sense.
but not in the middle of a conversation.
Not while it's happening. And their bark, Mac, he has this level of a bark that hits it seriously strikes my heart to the point where I'm like, I'm gonna throw this dog at a wall.
Yeah, and he's aggressive with it too.
And he's such a like he is afraid if you shake a piece of paper too fast, he gets scared. So you feel bad for him, but in the moment you're like, I'm gonna let this dog run away because I can't stand this shit every time.
It angers you more than it angers, I think, a normal person.
I agree, but in the moment, it's like. I think we're too far past fixing it is the problem. So then, yes, I have a specific friend who doesn't understand, like, immediately go pet the dog.
Yeah.
Like, that's all he's looking for.
He needs it to feel safe.
He won't stop barking until then.
But that's what I'm saying. And those people who keep trying to carry on as normal with the dog barking, I'm like, yo, dude, you're just going to try to ignore this? You got to pet him.
Yeah.
It's just funny. I don't know how any human person could possibly conceive of carrying on a conversation as if the dog isn't barking loudly.
And it sucks too because I am biased, but once everything's settled, my dogs are pretty cool and chill. Like they just want to sit with you on the couch for the most part. Mm-hmm. Maybe play tug of war for a couple of minutes with you, toss a toy to them. But that barking does make like people probably hate our dogs when I'm like, it's one thing that they have, and all of our schnauzers have done that.
Yeah, except for Kramer.
Well, Kramer was that dog was something special.
Little angel baby.
That dog, I'm pretty like. If you told me you're like, yeah, I was slipping him Xanax, I'd be like, I believe you. That little turd, man, he was just basement couch dweller, awesome. But I get a little self-conscious with my dogs where I'm like, they're really cool, I promise, and I hate. Because maybe they are considered smaller. They're considered a small dog, but like when a Chihuahua does that, everyone knows like a Chihuahua will bite your ankles.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I've tested my dogs. I try to make my dogs bite them, and they literally are barking and will never bite you.
It's really just Mac. Charlie's bark isn't as resonant and just like.
And Charlie might have been okay. Like if he was alone,
he wouldn't even bark.
He may not bark. He will sometimes if he hears kids being loud outside, but it's mostly him getting started by the other dog. Then he's barking. But by himself, I think he might have been okay.
And plus, Charlie knows to just come to the door.
Yeah,
Max stands up on his perch and is barking in your face. That's what's fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Doesn't make me mad, but it's like.
No, it makes me mad. I'm sitting on that couch
well,
going
you have
like.
to hear more like
we just need to train him better.
It's because you feel bad because it's fear based. But we've gone as far. It was funny the other day when you were here for like an hour, then finally noticed you're like, is that aluminum foil hanging from your curtains? And I was like, we're trying to train Mac, and you were like, and I was like, I don't know. They say it works with cats. You put aluminum foil on the counter, they get scared of it. We figured we'd try it on the curtains. Maybe it'll work for Mac because he's afraid of everything. But it's like when he gets so afraid, he's like, I don't care about. I got to bark at the little kid yelling in my street.
Yeah. Does he ever do that? Like bark crazy, like at a child? That's
well, through the window because
through the window's different. But I meant like if there's a child present.
Yes, because especially, and I don't blame them, but like our next door neighbor's kid, at first. Mac is barking, and I'm trying to tell him like, just come forward and
scared.
pet him. But now it turns out he was bit by a dog, his grandma's dog, when he was younger. Yeah. So I get that, but I'm like sitting there going like, look, I can put my hand in his mouth. He doesn't bite.
Also, a barking dog, a child shouldn't want to go forward to a barking dog.
Yeah, true, but no, I'm saying it's like me, you, and both his parents. They're going like, all you have to do is get close to him, and he'll stop barking.
Yeah.
And I get you're trying to fight fear, but then it's funny because now they have a 90-pound Rottweiler there. He's afraid of little Mac,
which I've never seen that dog. It's weird.
Yeah, it's actually friendly. Because you never
I'm just
know.
saying, I'm here a lot. Like, is it trapped?
Kind of just it has the basement to itself, and they because they got the double lot, so it just they put him on a chain. He hangs outside when it's warm.
Okay.
He eats well. I'll tell you that thing is a beast.
I can't wait to meet him.
Her.
I helped name it too, Roxy.
Is that your favorite stripper?
No, they had a couple names. I said Roxy the Rottweiler sounds pretty cool.
It does have a ring to it. But I was just curious, like, has Mac ever been around like an infant or a toddler and like gone berserk?
Yeah, he's scared of them. My friend came over with her baby, and Mac just barked the whole time, and then he would forget that the baby was there, and he'd be calm, and then he would see the baby again, and like freak out, like, oh my God, there's a baby, and would just start barking. I think he didn't understand it, like small person.
That's the only thing out of all the stuff. Yeah, it's annoying or whatever, but that's the only thing you want to address somehow. Because I mean, there's not a bunch of little kids here, but that is the only thing that's a little problematic.
I mean, I think the thing was it was a short period of time, and my fix to it was to just lock him in a room. If we worked through it,
because then you're trying to just not make the baby cry.
Yeah.
Because I have 100% confidence he would never nip at the baby.
98%.
I'm pretty very confident of that.
Because if it startles him, even after he's seen,
well, just knowing his interaction, like,
I would just say don't find out.
Yeah, but if the baby just reached out and touched him, I think it probably would stop him from barking. But the baby gets scared because he is barking.
I don't know about that,
dude. We have a rabbit that Mac will just come and sniff at and not do anything.
I'm not going to fight you on it or argue with you. I'm just saying.
Mac would not bite a baby. Give me Rachel, call her friends and get their babies over here to prove them wrong. But yeah, that's the one thing. Because it literally, he's like, what the fuck is that thing? It smells like a human.
Yeah, I get. Well, that's the thing I was going to say is mostly dogs are scent-based. It's like my neighbor's dogs don't even bark anymore when I'm in the building because they know what I smell like. But Mac should know what I smell like by now. Sometimes I'm here often enough where my smell shouldn't even leave the house.
Yeah.
And he goes nuts on me.
But it is, I mean, he even barks when not as much, but like when I walk in the house after work, he gives 4 or 5 barks. Yeah. But I also immediately address it because I immediately will just reach over and touch his head.
But that's what he wants.
I know, but
that's what I mean. We just have to be.
I'm gonna stop petting him when I
consistent.
come in the door. I can handle it.
My blood pressure's going to go up.
Yeah, you're
not once he's trained. Then
I
your blood pressure
before you do
will go
that,
down.
let me work out a little bit so I don't have a stroke / heart attack from my dog barking. But no, you're right. It could be trained out of him.
That's tough. That's tough. I'm with you. That'd be really hard to endure.
Because they say you can't teach old dogs new tricks. Cesar Millan says differently.
He does say differently. Speaking of animals, noises. Do you know that a cat's purring frequency is the same as babies? Like, they've learned how to mimic babies because
they don't naturally purr.
You can't.
That's a human.
Yeah, and they know that a human being can't ignore a crying baby, so they've matched that frequency to get our attention.
I didn't know the baby
purring or meowing.
One of them. I know. I didn't know the baby thing.
I think it's purring.
But I know that cats learned to make noise to get humans' attention.
Yeah, and remember, frequency is not the sound or the pitch. It's like a vibration.
Yeah.
You could look it up. Either way, I thought that was really interesting.
That just goes to show cats are assholes, dude. They're just they evolved to manipulate us. To go meow, give me food.
That's what women do.
That's why cat ladies are. That's why there's a certain type of woman out there that's single their whole life and have 10 cats when they're 50. Because they're like, we never were able to manipulate our
2 cats is the most cats any one person should have.
You know, it's fun. The one time, and she has a cat, but the bartender at our bar, I said, I want to get a cat because we have not a varmint problem, but I was like, I want to get a gnarly ass barn cat. I want an outdoor cat. I'll put a little kennel or something it can sleep in to stay warm. Mm-hmm. I'll feed it, but I want it to fucking be gnarly and chase away rats and stuff.
Cats are fine to live outside.
And she was like, "That's the couple." And the other guy who has a cat, he was like, "That's mean. You shouldn't do that." I was like, You know, cats are like badass, right?
Yeah, dude. I was around a cat for a few years that was declawed, and still brought fucking birds and shit to the house to eat. Like,
And they say you really shouldn't declaw them. They say
no,
it's like,
I know, I didn't. For the record,
Yeah.
I didn't. But no, it's bad. It's not
because it
cool.
makes sense. You're like, oh, we can take care of it, but like they say it's like removing from this knuckle down.
or whatever.
Because
Yeah,
they
it's
are
not
very
cool.
like, because cats are badass. Like when you see them getting that lower stance, like you can see instinct and stuff.
Yeah, they're killers.
But it's funny too. The second I go like, I don't really, I never would have a cat. People are like, oh, you hate cats? I'm like, no. But everyone who goes, my cat's really cool. It acts like a dog. I'm like, well, I had 2 dogs and they're dogs.
Yeah,
So-
right. I don't feel bad telling somebody like I think the cats stink.
And they can ruin houses.
Right,
Dude, my buddy-
So can a dog though.
Yeah,
They
but
stink.
yeah, and especially like they can spray, and like you don't know what happens until like a couple days later where it starts stinking and they're marking their territory everywhere.
So anybody who says to me, like, "What? You don't like cats?" It's not that I don't like cats. They just stink.
I just don't want one.
They smell. So does your house.
Yeah, because they don't like getting wet and shit. So you can't like it's hard to like bathe a cat.
And it's just they have a really like they only poop and pee in the house.
It is crazy that how fast a cat can learn to be a good cat can learn to just use a litter box like so quick.
It is, but it's fucking gross.
It is.
Sometimes I am jealous of that though with the dogs. Like when it snowed really bad, it literally went through my brain. Like I wish that the dog could go in a litter box.
Again, this
don't-
is a Mac problem.
Would you want me? I couldn't. We would have to just put it in the basement. I could never come in the basement. If the dogs could shit indoors, trained all the time, I would be throwing up all the time.
Well,
you-
you keep it clean and you use.
That sounds like a you problem.
Yeah.
Well, I like that my dogs can poop out. Well,
You don't clean it up outside either, so.
Yeah, man.
okay, attack Gene because he likes dogs pooping outside. How dare I?
I was just saying it would be nice at certain times, or like
you
if
would
you
just
lived in an
clean up the poop,
apartment.
right?
Like if you lived in an apartment and your dog could poop in a litter box, that would save a lot of.
Well,
like,
small dogs you can. My Aunt Jeannie's dog, they bring pee mats everywhere.
yeah, the pee pads.
But you can only do it with a small dog. Because even like the amount that like Mac pees, a pee pad's not absorbing all that.
I don't know.
Plus pooping on there. Oh God, that would suck. The only thing I would ever like if I had like a cool shed, like a barn, not a barn, but kind of like what Uncle Bill has, like a cool like a workspace. You know, like I had like a little wood shack. I'd get a cat that I would just like he could stay in there to stay warm, but just keep the varmints out.
Yeah, I was watching this thing. It's like a very old tradition, like a time-tested tradition at distilleries in Scotland. They always have a few cats that are like mascots of the distillery, but just to kill mice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Because, you know, those rats be getting there, getting all drunk off the... Because all those liquors got to have a lot of sugars and...
No, they just are after the barley, not the booze, but I get what you're
Well, no,
saying.
the sugars. Fucking rats love sugar.
Okay.
And a lot of liquors are like... You have to have sugar. You made prison hooch before. You have to have some sort of sugar base.
I just to say that rats love sugar, like, how do you know that?
Internet. A weird algorithm. Remember that time you tried making wine in a plastic water bottle in the basement?
No. I remember making the hooch.
Maybe it was grape based, and you let it try to ferment, and when you opened it up, it was like the most pungent smelling thing. And then like you learned that like you did something wrong. Like I think you just mushed up some grapes and like added something in there.
Well,
You weren't going to drink it. It was like an experiment to try it.
I don't remember that. I remember making that prison hooch though for a college class, and like it was like orange and it had like chunky.
What was the basis of it? Ketchup is something they use a lot, right?
Yeah.
Potato starch, I think.
No, this didn't have any of those things in it. I don't
Well.
know. It was gross.
I don't know if you passed that class if
I
you
did
can't remember.
somehow. The hooch didn't pass though. Nobody was willing to try it. Either was I.
If they were like,
it was one of the, it was your public speaking class. We basically had to demonstrate like making something or like how to do something. So I could have made a Cleveland steamer and it would have passed the class.
I wrote a paper for one of the hardest classes, English Comp 2, and like the end of one of the major grades was you had to write a story of something that you do well, I believe it was. Same with the Cleveland steamer, but I did eating chicken wings and the techniques of eating chicken wings.
There you go.
Hey, I passed it.
Speaking of chicken wing techniques, this is like becoming an acceptable thing to eat wings with gloves on. What the fuck?
You know, I see a lot of people. I see a lot of not even just chicken wings. I see a lot of the black community eat with latex gloves.
Yeah.
You're talking. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
What's
Like I could see chicken wings, but like
no. What the hell is? You use a napkin. What's the?
You know what, Rachel? On Taste Buds, have they done ranch first blue cheese?
Let me.
They should. If not, we should do a ranch first blue cheese.
Yeah, but it's not a good debate.
Well, me and you would be blue cheese, and Rachel would be ranch.
Oh, no doubt.
Because even if
So
it's just
me
for,
up against both of you.
yeah.
Well, we already had the Pittsburgh left versus non-Pittsburgh left debate.
Which we won clearly.
That was a 2v1.
That was not a fun episode.
And a lot of times we just team up on me. Rachel, me and you got to figure out something to team up on Steven. That's what we'll do.
I liked that episode. That was a cool episode.
That was a good episode. I was getting a little...
They have a hot sauce versus barbecue sauce, but it's not Googling well because it's...
Because the thing is like with wings, I don't care. The people who invented buffalo wings paired it with blue cheese.
And they both live in New York, right?
Yes.
So chances are they don't even realize ranch is something a lot of people like.
Ranch is, dude, Pittsburgh is ranch heavy.
It is. It is.
That was you when where we live. If you call a pizza place and go, "Hey, can I get a side of ranch with my pizza?" They're gonna go, "Did I hear you correctly? You want ranch?" Here, they just give it. Most places just give you ranch in your pizza box.
Yeah, I don't know if at home they would ask if they heard you, but they definitely like if you just order 6 wings or whatever, or 12 wings, you don't have to say nothing. It's coming with blue cheese.
You know what sucks here? Even when you do ask for blue cheese, it's the small like bag.
Yeah, the shitty blue cheese.
And dude, it's terrible.
That's salad blue cheese.
And even that, it's bad.
No, you want there's like cheap pizza place blue cheese with hunks of blue cheese in it, but it's like not fancy blue cheese dressing. Fancy blue cheese dressing sucks on a wing. You want that, I guess it's just sold in bulk.
Yeah.
And you also want the blue cheese a little hot because it's with the wings and it heats up. You don't want ice cold blue cheese.
Well, the one I get, I think it might be, who was that famous? Paul Newman? Is that the
yeah, the guy
salad?
makes all the prison stuff.
Yeah, we'll do that blue cheese on a salad, on wings. It sucks. It's terrible.
It doesn't have any chunks in it.
No, it just tastes bad. And I wonder, I've gotten where the point I go, do they know they should be refrigerating this? Like, I'm like, it looks, you know what it looks like a shit ton of semen. The color and consistency of it. It looks like, I'm like, did someone give me a bag of their nut?
Yeah, I think that one might have turned, dude.
That's why I was like, I think I should call them, like, you got to refrigerate this even though it's in the individual bags.
Yeah. Well,
maybe we'll have a big debate, Rachel. We'll let you
until next time.
Me and Steven have our list full, ready to debate you on it. So why don't you write your defense? We'll give you this advantage. It'll be 2v1. We won't prep, and you can prep for ranch.
You're already prepping.
Well, because we think on the same thing. Blue cheese, we're basically like brothers. Okay. But that will be, I think it.
We didn't really do a whole lot of New Year's stuff on this New Year's episode.
Real quick, traditions our family did New Year's. When we were younger, we used to bang pots and pans right at the New Year.
Mm-hmm.
I remember specifically 2KY.
Y2K.
What I said 2KY.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about video games, guys. Sorry. The actual scare of the robots are going to take over. But I specifically remember Uncle Mike's banging pots and pans because we were like, it didn't happen, kind of, but we didn't keep doing that. The only tradition is we do watch the ball drop.
Yeah. Yeah.
for some reason, and then kiss each other. Not me and him. We would kiss I would kiss my wife and I would kiss my mom. We all hug and then listen to the 3 songs they play every year. And Steven came out today publicly, basically, and stated he doesn't like Frank Sinatra.
No, I really don't.
I'll stand by him. I don't support that statement because I don't need the Italians to hate me any more than they already do.
You Mick fuck.
You Mick fuck you. It is an easy thing. You can... Rachel, you know what? For drag queens, just do Frank Sinatra. Anyone can sing like him. It's not hard. I don't care what anyone says.
I just really hate how the Italians gush over Sinatra like he was some virtuoso singer. Like
I do Frank perfectly. Right. Fly me to the moon.
Yeah,
that's exactly how he sings it. I am not a good singer by any chance. So take it. If I just fit in a suit good and we're able to smoke cigarettes and drink dry martinis on TV, I could be Frank Sinatra.
Wear a tux.
Yeah. So that's our traditions. Rachel, did you ever have any New Year's traditions real quick?
Not really. My parents are early sleepers, so I used to always go to a friend's house, or I would have like my own friends over.
Damn, your parents couldn't make it till 12?
I mean, they could make it if they really tried, but we didn't do much. And my mom worked in the medical field, so a lot of times she would have to work. Or
does your dad recognize a different New Year's?
No.
Okay.
And I actually spent a New Year's in Indonesia. It was Y2K, because we were kind of like, shit, this might be really bad.
They don't have computers over there. That would be the safest place.
But no, it's just not a really big deal to my parents.
Big deal for you guys.
But yeah, I used to go to a friend's or...
Our parents were big boozers, so they were like, another reason to get weird.
It's just another party. But
yeah, so no big traditions. If you guys have some, let us know. I bet there are some cool ones. Are you supposed to eat pork on New Year's?
I think it's fish. 7
Now
fishes.
you said that, but I think
that's an Italian thing.
Well, there's
the
7 fishes, but I think you do that on Christmas.
I don't think there's any holiday where you're supposed to eat pork as a rule.
Well, no, just like kind of like a tradition thing. Because the reason I thought about it is we went to Giant Eagle, and every fat white person in there had like a pork loin or like a ham in there, and on sale they had these massive porks, and I go, I think there might be...
it's good luck to eat pork, cabbage, black-eyed peas, greens, lentils, fish, or noodles. There's a whole list. There's a long list.
So just eat food on New Year's?
Yeah.
But pork is one of like the top ones that's on all the...
I've never had a black-eyed pea.
Yes, you have.
Yeah?
Everybody's had a black-eyed pea. It's in all kinds of stuff. If you had soup, you've had a black-eyed pea.
I've never seen them like on the shelf somewhere in the grocery store.
No, I'm just saying in a dish you've had a black-eyed pea.
Oh, and we're good because champagne is also on the list. So
all right, good.
We're good.
Can't drink that.
We'll drink it for you. This
we'll
one's for me. This
we'll
one's for
some
Steven.
Beans. I got some beans. I'll take a Sharpie and put a little black circle.
I have some lentils.
You eat some dry lentils, suck those down.
You know
You'll
what?
be fine.
Oh, yeah. Steven, buttered bread.
Well, I ate that this morning.
You should have a lot more luck the amount of buttered bread you eat.
Doing something wrong.
But hey, thanks for tuning in. This has been You Be Alright.
You Be Alright.
It's 2023, guys. This year you will be alright. And I genuinely believe that. Thank you. Love everyone who's watching. Or if you're mean to me, I don't love you. Grundle Gravy, shout out.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. I'm Gene Labordi, my brother Stephen Labordi, my awesome wife and the magic of the show, Rachel Labordi. You were very vocal today, so good job on that, as high as she was.
She's going to have to cut out like half this episode. I think we're at 3.5 hours.
No. But thank you. Listen in. Rachel, give us our plugs.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I didn't have it up.
Okay, read it.
It's okay. That's why you're good. Uh-oh.
She'll be all right.
Try to read it while you're laughing. This is going to be good. I like this segment. Oh, damn. Luckily, this song's got 2 minutes to it, so Rachel, you only have a little bit.
You'll be alright.
You're gonna be alright. Okay, we're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. All our social media handles are on the screen, so take a screenshot if you're watching the video, or you can always go to our website and find all of our links on aml.news.blog. That, once again, is aml.news.blog. That's going to be the easiest for you. Thanks for watching. I guess I got to do everything around here. Appreciate it, guys. Happy New Year's, and love to everyone.
See you next time.
Rachel, I don't know. Are you going to make it to New Year's? Her glasses are off her face. Oh, dude, you actually have tears falling off your face.